There's been a lot of talk online about whether or not the Browns should give Josh Gordon a call now that Martavis Bryant is rejoining the league after his run ins with Stephen A. Smith's favorite, Stay Off the Weed. I've gotten a few DMs from you guys saying, could the Browns pick up the phone and reunite with Josh Gordon? Bryant's coming back. The Browns need help at wide receiver. It makes too much sense. So let's kind of talk about that on today's show, and we'll talk about the wide receiver room as a whole. But like I said, Martavis Bryant returning to the National Football League. How about Shams breaking some NFL news? Did not have that on my bingo card, but Martavis Bryant agreeing to a contract with the Dallas Cowboys. We, of course, remember his days in Pittsburgh where he was an extremely skilled and talented wide receiver that put up good numbers and great results. Unfortunately, just as Stephen A. loves to say, can't stay off the weed. So, like Josh Gordon, he was suspended a bunch, missed a lot of time, but now he is back in the NFL. So, with all that being said, should the Browns call Josh Gordon? Because, like I mentioned, they need help at wide receiver, and people just kind of got the wheels moving in their heads of Bryant coming back means Josh Gordon coming back. I'm going to pump the brakes on that. Let's unfortunately come crashing down to earth and talk about Josh Gordon in 2023. The guy who played 2 games for the Titans last year. It doesn't have a great wide receiver room. It's not like he was boxed out of a whole bunch of really skilled players in Nashville, and he commanded all of 1 target. Something says that Josh Gordon might not be that guy we watched in 2013. Now, since he got traded from the Browns to New England, he's played in just 25 games since 2018. He missed all of 2020, so a lack of availability kind of makes me wonder what kind of football shape he's in. I mean, the same goes for any player that misses a lot of time. The game moves along. Now, that's true for like quarterbacks and defenses. I think wide receivers, for the most part, have the same type of role that they had 10 years ago that they have right now, and that is be fast, get open, and catch the ball when it comes your way. But the former second-round pick for the supplemental draft is, of course, a fan favorite for what he was able to do in Cleveland. You look at Josh Gordon's numbers over the last 4 seasons, though, and like I said, it's not the same guy we all watched in 2013, right? And I don't think this is new information to anyone, but I think this is a good reminder and a good take some medicine. It might sound fun in theory and on paper and on YouTube to bring back Josh Gordon, but I don't think it's very likely for 2 main reasons. Reason number 1, it's not 2013 anymore. Like, if we could get that Josh Gordon back, sure, who wouldn't be all about it? All 32 teams would want that guy on their roster right now. But the reality is, he has not been that guy for a decade, right? We saw his numbers from the last 4 seasons. He had some good moments, he had some good plays, but an extreme lack of consistency and availability is a huge hurdle for GMs to get over. Now, the one pushback I'll say is we are in November, so that kind of changes things a little bit because no team needs him for 17 games. They just need him for 8 games. Now, having said all that, I'm going to go full Ricky Bobby mode here and say, with all due respect, don't tempt me, because we could all sort of fall in love with Josh Gordon coming back to Cleveland. Like, I can lay out all the reasons and all of the ML format points I want, but at the end of the day, I look back at these numbers. The guy, like, every time you look at it, it's crazier. 1,600 yards, only 87 receptions, 95-yard touchdown. He was a big play machine every single time the ball came his way. So let me know what you think. Should the Browns call Josh Gordon? He does not have any ties to this regime. It's not like Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski were here the last time he was here. I don't think even Dorsey was here the last time. Yeah, not even Dorsey was here. We are several Kevin Bacons removed from Josh Gordon having any sort of connection to anyone in Berea. So for that reason, I don't think it's going to happen, and it's a fun fan theory. Maybe if you were really desperate, have him come in for a workout, and if he's in good shape, sign him not because what he did in 2013 for this team, but because you could use some help at wide receiver, which serves as a nice transition here because whether the Browns go out and call Josh Gordon and bring him in for a workout or not, they do need help at wide receiver. They just need improvement from the wide receiver room as a whole, whether that comes from external, free agency, practice squad additions, or internal, people just stepping up their own game. There needs to be an improvement. Now, I'm going to expand on that thought in just a moment, but a quick word from our friends over at Game Time. I have been telling you guys about Game Time for quite some time right now because the Dog Pound needs to know where the best place is to get tickets without worrying. Because if you are looking for tickets to sports events, music, comedy, or theater, Game Time is the place to check. Now, Game Time is also the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. You can buy tickets in seconds with just 2 taps. They're also obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. So if you want to go see a Cavs game or catch a Browns game, watch Josh Gordon come back maybe, make sure you go take a visit to Game Time. It's the place to find last-minute seats. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code BROWNSCHAT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account and redeem the code BROWNSCHAT for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. So the Browns wide receiver room is not where I think everyone expected it to be or wanted it to be. Amari Cooper is having a great year, as he always does. 617 yards at the halfway mark of the season. Has him on pace for around 1,200 yards. 2 touchdowns. I think that number is going to go up more with improved quarterback play. But after Amari Cooper, got Elijah Moore leading the pack with 29 grabs for 270 yards. Marquise Goodwin has not been that big play machine that we were hoping he could be. Just 3 grabs for 10 yards. He's in concussion protocol right now. And then you have Cedric Tillman, who has 2 receptions for 8 yards. Now, with DPJ being traded, that should open up a bigger opportunity for Cedric Tillman to go out there and command more snaps and get more targets and receptions. But it is time for someone on this roster to step up and help out Cooper. I know the easy and fun thing to do is anytime there's a problem, look external, and Andrew Berry's great at that. Cade York wasn't looking good. Dustin Hopkins. We need another edge rusher. Zadarius Smith. You guys want to stop the run? Dalvin Tomlinson, Shelby Harris, Maurice Hurst, Siaka Ika. Like, Andrew Berry is, as I always say, the Flex Seal of GMs. Anytime there's a problem, he covers it up with a draft pick or free agency. But at some point, I would envision Andrew Berry goes, you know what? I've made a lot of moves. Now it's time for the guys on this roster to step up and not wait for someone to come in and save the day. It's November. There's no one that's going to walk into this locker room tomorrow and put up 700 yards over the next few weeks. Someone on this team has to rise to the occasion and help out Amari Cooper. Now, if that spiel was not enough for you to want to see Elijah Moore or Cedric Tillman kind of grab this opportunity by the balls and run with it, there are some free agent wide receivers out there. Jarvis Landry, Marquez Callaway, Kenny Golladay. Each of these 3 players are very different types of receivers. We know Juice all too well, a great slot receiver, and that would definitely be an asset for the Browns right now. Callaway brings a ton of speed they were looking to get out of Marquise Goodwin. He's a special teamer, so if you were looking for help on kick or punt returns, he could definitely do that. And then Kenny Golladay is a guy that I was a big fan of when he was with Detroit. I thought he was a really talented, skilled wide receiver, and he definitely fits the mold of the type of wide receiver Deshaun Watson loves, and that is a big body frame that Watson can just kind of throw it up to as he loves to do and let his receiver go out and win that 50-50 ball. Now, Golladay got the bag in New York after some good years in Detroit, and it was a complete bust of a signing. 43 grabs in 2 seasons with the Giants, just 602 yards and 1 touchdown. But he had that magical season in 2019. He led the NFL in receiving touchdowns with 1,100-plus yards, 65 receptions. So Golladay has shown that he has it in him. I don't know if he just got the guaranteed cash and mentally checked out or what the downfall was in New York, whether it was inconsistent quarterback play, bad coaching altogether. There were a lot of things wrong over in New York when Kenny Golladay was there. He definitely has a ton of ownership as to why he did not perform. It is not an instance where you can blame everything on everyone else. But Golladay could be an interesting free agent target for the Browns if he's in football shape, can come in and show in a workout that he can still play at an NFL level, because he would fit that mold, like I said, of a wide receiver Watson loves to throw the ball up to, because I think the term throw the ball up to is probably sometimes too overly used. They're all NFL quarterbacks. Anyone can throw a football to a wide receiver. But what Watson's greatest strength is the ability to have so much velocity and zip on his passes to extremely small windows along the sideline. We've seen him do it time and time again. And so if he can have a receiver on the other end climb a tree and get that ball over a 5'11 corner like Galladay did in Detroit, that would definitely serve as a huge boost to this Browns offense. But I do want to know from everyone watching right now, should the Browns sign a wide receiver? Type S for sign, type P for pass. I would pass. I'm going to challenge Elijah Moore and Cedric Tillman and David Bell, when everyone's healthy, all these guys to rise up and do something that they have not done all this year, and that is give Amari Cooper some assistance. And before we wrap up today's show, I want to show some love right now to the MVPs from our Week 9 watch party against Arizona. Mike Dibble with another MVP performance, $100 super chat. Mike Dibble always bringing the fun to the party. I want to give an all-pro shout-out right now, Ken Gard. This is a guy that people might not know about, but he's going to be on everyone's radar by the time Pro Bowl voting rolls around. Ken Gard on Sunday, if you missed it, was sending in super after super for every single score that was made by the Cleveland Browns. Ken, it did not go unnoticed. The consistency was there. How about a Pro Bowl showing, by the way, from TJ Showman Golf? I mean, TJ might not have the 100-yard bomb out of his golf bag. He doesn't have maybe the huge driver. But what TJ does is he gets on the green in regulation. TJ's going to get the first down. TJ's going to earn his points down in the paint. I love what I've seen out of TJ the last couple of weeks. Game ball goes to cool guy called Zone. There was an injury. Ty Man the Buckeye, the chat moderator, unfortunately could not be there for all 4 quarters. So it's next man up mentality. Cool guy stepped up and he delivered. And then a sleeper to watch for is a longtime viewer on the channel, the Brown Tiger. He unfortunately has been busy for the start of the season, but the guy's back, and he came with a roar on Sunday. That's going to do it for us on today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoy our content, check me out over on Twitter or X at Matthew Petey.